this gonna work? Gonna have to. That way the sun is right there, so it's literally in my eyes. This way it's a little worse, I think, because now I'm really getting distracted. There's this car sitting out on my house, and I can't tell if somebody's sitting in it. It's making me uncomfortable as hell. Anyway, because I can't tell if somebody's sitting there, and if they are sitting there, if they like staring at me or watching me or what. Because the front of my office is in the front, like my office is in the front of my house, so it kind of it feels like a fishbowl some days. So I need to work on designing it, getting it curtains and things like that, because I feel like I'm on display all day when I'm out here working or doing something, and sometimes I don't get a lot done. Okay, we don't want you seeing neighbors' houses. All right, that works for me. Probably should get the rest of my coffee. Let's do that. Alrighty. The girls need to just come in here. You wanna come in? Nobody said you wanna come in and sit where I'm about to sit, mama. Scoot. Now they moving and nobody got in that car, so was you just sitting there like, what is this bitch? I don't know, white girl just sitting out there. Like, where you come from, sis? It's crazy to go over here. There's not that many white people. So when you do see somebody just sitting randomly, 9 times out of 10 it's very stereotypical, but they're buying drugs. So yeah, girl, Zia drug deals in the suburbs. I don't want that shit over here now on my block. Wait, where did I just have that there? Now you in my frame. What is going on? Anyway, don't stalk me. I don't think y'all can see. This is it. Right? Excuse me. Mama. How you just gonna stand there and fart? Moo said, it don't stop. And it don't stop. Go, go. Oh. All right, can y'all go now? I let y'all in here to be nice, but I don't think you're gonna go. You want me to open the door? Okay, I'll open it. Go ahead, take your ball. Go ahead, get your ball. Wait, get the ball. Get your ball. Take it with you. Go ahead. Mommy, you want your acorn? Here, Mom. Look. It's Mama's acorn. Go ahead, Mama, get your acorn. Nope. Alright. It wasn't even under there. You're so dramatic. Bro, like, she's so dramatic. I have a blanket spread out in my living room because I don't have any rugs or furniture in my actual living room. This is my office, and I put my couch in here that I do have because, first off, in the living room I'll just sit in front of the TV all day, and also I don't like sitting in there, like just chilling in my living room right now. I want to work on it and decorate it and do all that. I don't know what it is. I think it kind of comes from living in my car and being homeless. Having so much space gives me anxiety, if that makes sense. And I have an apartment, but it's actually really big because it's the first floor of an actual house, and the houses up here in Rochester are big. Like, they are big, so, which is really good. So yeah, like, this place is a lot bigger than I even thought it was going to be before I moved up here or whatever. But anyway, so this is part 2 to part 1. Part 1 is literally rendering. If you hear my computer fans loud ass, I seen a tweet, somebody was talking about the MacBook Air being loud as hell. Bro, export a video, that bitch be like, that's how it sounds. Anyway, my husband called me while he was like, what? You just wanted to go out there. You gotta go with her, and you're not gonna sit next to me and do all that neither. Go ahead, come on. Let's go get Mimi, and then I will see you guys later tonight. Go ahead, scoot. This is the problem with working from home. Your kids don't give you no damn space. Go ahead, go get Mimi. Ooh, go ahead, go get Mimi. You get Mimi. Here's the keys, so I can close my doors all the way. Pasta. La pista. Fucking coffee. Now y'all see why you don't get that many videos? I be going through it sometimes. And if I'm not working, like making money off of something, it's kind of hard. So, anyway. Excuse me. I decided I'm not editing these because I kind of don't want to. And also I feel like to know me is to love me. So you gotta just deal with me for right now. For at least these videos. I don't feel like editing. So I made it look cute and rendered. That's it. So anyway, what else was I gonna say? That's what just happened. Like, I just talked to my husband. I didn't make anything to eat. I'm really hungry. I want to just get this done, so then I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to think about coming back and filming or none of that. Because, you know, once you eat, that itis. I still have the same cold-ass cup of coffee now. And the problem is I haven't been drinking it on camera with y'all because every time I take a sip, I spill it on myself. I don't know if you guys can see this. I normally drink out of a straw, but all my straws are dirty and I don't have time to wash them. Don't fucking judge me. Anyway, so where did we leave off? Day one of being in my car. All right, so that was kind of how it got going. Once we had both the PFAs and all that going on, we both couldn't be in the house. So fast forward to that following Monday. Like the first couple days, it was actually kind of, it was hard, but right away my brain was like, bitch, don't you dare sit over here and cry. You know what I mean? So I took the little bit of change I made. I got some gas. I drove down Jersey. Like where I'm from, we can get to Jersey, New York, Philly, wherever in like an hour. For real, like I could get down the shore and stuff, like seaside and all that. So I found what was it? It's a little beach. I can't remember the name. Shit. It's something Fisher spot. Fisherman Pier or something like that, whatever. It's down Jersey Shore, like near, I think it's closer to like Point Pleasant than it is Seaside. I don't know the difference. I just put in whatever in the GPS when I feel like going, but it's a dog friendly beach. So I took the girls down there, and we chilled for like the 2 days. I was like, I'm not about to sit in my car in my town really looking like I'm fucking homeless. Like, no. So we went down to the beach and then we just stayed in the car. Then what had happened, because Mumu likes swimming. What had happened after that, once we came back, we had to go to court. So I came back to go to court on Monday. I think, didn't I? I did. I just drove back up from the beach. Oh, I did shower. I was showering. I had a Planet Fitness membership, so I took a shower, I think, down there, like the night before or whatever, and then I came back. I had to go to court. When I tell you, I've never, this judge, yo. So here's the thing. I did not know. Matter of fact. Oh, wait, I'm going. Am I going? What happened? I'm lying. Where did it go? Because my grandmother had put a PFA on me. I know y'all like, what? When I tell you, defend the one that's wrong to the fullest. Yup. She put a PFA on me. So what happened was, when my dad, I think, me and him put one on each other, that night, did he leave? Yeah, I think think he left, I left, or whatever. At some point, my grandmother put one on me. I'm trying to remember really exactly the timeline. Because when I went to court, it was for both my PFA on my dad, his PFA on me, and then my grandmother's PFA on me. I think it was all three in one time. So what he basically did was when I put the PFA on him, he got one on me. He manipulated the shit out of my grandmother into going and putting one on me. My grandmother forged my grandfather's name onto it, saying that both of them, I abused both of them. Mind you, I've been taking care of this lady since I was a kid. Just throwing that in there. I've been the only one living with her my entire fucking life. Entire life I've lived with my grandmother. So I was like, wait, what? I think yeah, I think I came back. I had to go to court or something. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so I filed the PFA. I came back or whatever to my grandma's house. My dad filed a PFA on me. Boom. So we come back, we gotta go to court to go get like a temporary or something like that. How the fuck do we end up? I'm trying to remember how it happened. I just know I was at my cousin's house. When was it? Yeah, I got the PFA, temporary PFA, whatever, blah, blah. They was going to give us court dates or something like that. My dad left, and I think I was at my grandma's, like, packing my shit. So the day I started packing my stuff, because I had already put one on my dad, he put one on me. When I was at her house, because I think I left for the couple days. I'm really trying to remember. Like when I tell you I go through trauma and I will block pieces out like crazy. There was a point I was back at my grandma's house and I was packing up my stuff or whatever, getting ready to leave. Yeah, because I was like, yo, like I know I can't stay here. So I'm at her house and that's what it was. That's exactly. Okay. So the judge, I had to go see a judge to get a PFA on my dad or whatever, to get a temporary or something. Or it was just to decide like who could stay in the house. I think that's what it was. Who can stay in the house? So when we went there, she was like, oh, you can stay in the house. He can go. Because at first she said for him to go and for me to stay at the house. That's what it was. So then this is one, I think this was one judge. She was like, he can go, you can stay in the house, whatever. Flipped it. Cool. Then when I get to the house, I think I came to the house like it was like not nighttime or something. Like I was trying to avoid the conflict, but I came in the house or whatever. I go straight upstairs. My gram come out in the hallway screaming at me, bugging. I'm like, fuck are you even getting into this for? Or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, unless you want, you know, like I was hurt, honest to God. I was hurt. So I was saying like everything. Like, yo, unless you want me out, y'all drag me the fuck out. Like other than that, y'all dead to me. Like don't even worry about it. I'm getting the fuck out. Like, you know what I mean? Because I really was just, that was it. You let me stay in my car for a whole fucking weekend. Joke was on me. So I'm like, how dare you? You know what I mean? Like, and then for her to get up out of her bed and come yell and all that, I'm like, oh, you've really defending this soft ass motherfucker. I don't like that because you're defending your son who's abusive as shit and he's a bitch for real. So I was mad as hell. I'm like, man, I ain't playing this shit with you. I went upstairs. I think I closed my door. I went upstairs or whatever. And literally just that night I started packing my stuff, you know, whatever. She knows I'm packing to leave. So they turn around that next morning. It was that next morning, matter of fact, I was getting ready to leave. I'm packing my stuff. I think I was doing wash. I pulled up at my cousin's house for some, I think just to get out the house or whatever. Yeah, and the girls, I wanted to see my little cousins and stuff. So yeah, so I'm talking to her. I get a phone call. It's the sheriff. He like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to come down to the house and get your things. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He like, oh, you have a PFA filed on you by your grandmother and your grandfather. What? I got a what filed on who? Who just went to the courthouse? You mean to tell me the same BITCH that don't want to show up to graduations without teeth being pulled, showing up to children's births, birthday parties, all kinds of other shit, just took her ass into the fucking courthouse? I know you fucking lying. So I'm like, what? Like, thank God I just smoked a blunt. Cause I remember literally, I was like, what the fuck you just said? You know how like when you're smoking and you get a call, it's a whole different than like after you smoked or like during the smoke, you're like, what did you just say to me? So I'm like, okay, cool. So, and I remember telling, I'm like, the girls gotta come with us. Like I literally had to drive down the street. So I'm like, girls gotta come with us. Cause the only way I'm gonna stay calm, cool, and fucking collective walking in this house is knowing that they're watching. You know what I mean? Like knowing they're watching me. And it was to the point like we were just like, they've already decided they don't want to fuck with her. So, and these are kids I'm talking about. So I'm like, y'all gonna see this. So when you're older, you know why nobody is dealing with them. You know what I mean? And base your own decisions and stuff. But it, also for me, it was just like this is what's gonna keep me calm. Like they're my baby, so I'm like, this is what's gonna keep me calm, right? So I go down the crib, grab my dogs, grab my shit, said nothing. Sheriff's there, all that, my whole family outside, like literally laughing at the fact I'm gonna have to live in my car. This is how you know these motherfuckers ain't never been homeless. None of them have ever been homeless. None of them have ever not been able to come to my grandmother's house. None of them have never, ever had to really, truly ever fucking live on their own, if you want to be technical. Every single one of these people that was sitting on this porch that had a man or another woman taking care of them half of their fucking lives. Whether it's their mother or whoever the fuck they fucking. To be completely raw, I am the only one out of that whole group that's ever left the crib on their own, that's ever came back to the crib humbly and not like on some, oh yeah, I gotta come move back in, let me be just depressed and shit and all that. No, like I came back in the crib like, all right, I'm going right back to my business. You know what I mean? Like whatever. So I'm sitting here like this shit, just thinking about it. I'm and I don't want to edit this, so I'm trying to be like, okay, don't say it's too damn much. But nah, like this is real, this is raw, this is exactly how it was going down. So I'm looking at everybody and I'm like, yo, like the savage in me, like people throw the word savage around a little too easily in 2020 and the last couple of years, but the savage in me was ready to bust heads, bro. Like I wanted shit to get popping so bad, but I'm like, nope. Absolutely not. So I went upstairs, I got my stuff. These cops up there, mind you, it was hot as hell. I got the attic and shit. So they up there. I just turned her whole attic into a fucking apartment. No lie, built a little kitchenette and all that. Like, I mean, it wasn't like a kitchen, but I had my little kitchen going on. Because it was to a point I genuinely wasn't talking to none of my family at this point. And that's what the problem was. Like, when somebody just don't fuck with y'all and you know they're choosing not to fuck with you, it was like y'all toxic. Anytime there's a conversation, anything, I felt like my vibrations going down. And I'm like, yo, I don't got time for this. Like, I'm working out. I'm being positive. You know what I mean? I'm not about to let y'all drag me down with your chitlin eating asses. Fuck out of here. So, like, people that just sit there and eat chitlins and ham all day are miserable. At me. I don't give a fuck. Fuck miserable. So I'm like, yo, I'm not about to argue with y'all no more. Like, it was everything. Like, I'm the only Muslim, so I'm getting attacked for that, for not eating pork. Like, it was just so fucking much. There was so much, yo. I couldn't even begin to think of every tiny detail. So I'm like, yo, all right, I'm upstairs, I'm getting my shit, whatever. I go to leave. So when I go to leave, like, I literally got at least like 50% of my belongings, tucked them in my car or whatever. So everybody like, well, what you about to do? I'm like, I'm out. I'm not staying here. I'm out. This is not the first time I packed my car up neither. I packed my car up back in like March of last year. I packed my car up, left, and I stayed in a hotel for a couple days back then because I was arguing with not my grandfather. I was arguing, I think it was with my dad again or something. No, you know what it was? I was in the kitchen and I had headphones on. My papa was getting a little old, right? And my papa never raised his hand to me, barely ever raised his voice to me my whole life. But he was getting to a point, he was bugging out. Like, he was gonna hit my uncle with a pop one day. And I'm like, hold on, I don't care how old y'all get. Y'all gonna calm the fuck down. You know what I mean? Because without us, who's taking care of you? So one day I was in the kitchen, I had headphones in or whatever, and I think I was like singing a song. I must have cussed or something. But I couldn't hear him, and I just seen him coming at me. So I jumped back, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, ah, just screaming, but I really had no idea what the hell he was yelling about. So I pulled a headphone out my ear or whatever, he's just going off, running his mouth, whatever, blah blah. So then I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, don't do that, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what it was. I was trying to explain to my family, like, y'all keep jumping at me, and all these men keep jumping at me, like I don't have, sorry, that shadow was killing me. All these men keep jumping at me, like I don't have PTSD, you know what I mean? I was trying to really educate them on how serious PTSD truly is. Like, I'm gonna snap one day and I need y'all to stop. It was sun up to sundown, it just was not fucking stopping. So that was the point. I packed my shit and moved the hell out for a couple days, whatever. And then when I did come back, like my papa, we were cool, whatever, after that, because he was like, I'm sorry baby, da, da, da. Like, my papa, he don't handle his emotions well, but he will. Like, he's a Taurus, no, he's a Gemini, I think he's a Gemini. But yeah, so anyway, that's when I left that time. So this time I was like, man, I'm out, like fuck this, I'm not coming back, like over my dead body. So I packed all my stuff, whatever. So then when we go to court, right, we pull up to court, and that's when it was the hearing of all of us. When I tell you this judge, so when my grandmother went to file, it turns out the judge she filed with is the same judge that is keeping my husband in prison, right? So the judge, y'all know my husband, Google the name, find out the judge. I ain't about to say his name so he can't use that against me later. But that's the judge they went to file with, and they used my husband's last name, which is not my last name, right? So they used that last name on my paperwork and everything. So then, which makes no fucking sense, I don't know how that worked, but they used that last name on my paperwork. So I didn't realize this till after. So when I get into court, I had a woman judge now, and I'm like, she had the energy she had right from the rip. So as soon as we start talking, right, she's like, what do you know, like, what you got to say for yourself? So I was like, are you familiar with an ACEs score, right? When I tell you this bitch, matter of fact, because I left, that's what it was. I left, I was gone for like, maybe it was like a week or something that I lived down. I was down like Maryland. I stayed in Maryland for a little bit, whatever. Like, I just needed to drive. Like, I think I drove Philly, Maryland, stayed down in Maryland, whatever. Then I had to come back up. We went to court. Yeah, I think that's how that went for when we went to actual court. Yeah. So we're in court, whatever. She was coming at me crazy. So I was like, you know, are you familiar with the ACEs score? She was like, don't fuck, like, no, she didn't say fuck it. She was like, don't ask me questions. Bitch, what fuck you mean don't ask you fucking questions? I'm not allowed to ask you a question. Yo, when I tell you these people on these fucking stands in these robes, y'all got a complex. I wish one of y'all would watch one of these videos. If you're a judge, for some reason you just strolled across my fucking video, get over yourself, pull your dick down a little bit, tuck your titties in, do whatever the fuck it is you need to do, and humble yourself, because you're still a fucking human. I don't know what the fuck titties and dick had to do with it, but just do it. Like, just fucking figure your shit out. Because she really was like, don't ask me questions. Bitch, you're not above human. And outside of here, you still another person. Like, because if you was just a regular old person in the store, I would have punched you in your fucking mouth. That's how I was feeling. But I didn't say that. No, I stayed real calm. I was like, well, was trying to explain where I was coming from, but okay. You know, whatever. I think I was trying to explain to her, like my dad is abusive. This has been going on for years, blah, blah, blah. She ain't want to hear none of that. None of that. Nothing I had to say. This bitch cut me off, cut me off, cut me off. Then she tried to pull the I'm being aggressive card. When I promise you, I've never been so calm in my life. So do you know how fast somebody's gonna become aggressive when they're not, and you keep telling them they are? That's like, oh, you got an attitude. And I'm like, oh, I don't. I'm just sitting here, just chilling. But yep, so it was bad. So we in court. I didn't even yell. That's the thing. I wasn't yelling or nothing. I was shaking. That's what it was. I was shaking because I was about to cry. Like, my leg was shaking. And she was like, oh, you're being aggressive and blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, this is a nervous tick and I'm about to have a meltdown in here. Like, that week not being in the house was really bad. I almost killed myself. I cut myself a couple times. I wrote my husband a suicide letter. I was reading that book, fucking The Deepest Well. I have no idea why. That was just what I wanted to read during that time. But basically, that describes the ACEs score, and anybody with ACEs score test, it's like 1 to 10, whatever. Long story short, for every ACEs is adverse childhood experiences. So everything that you go through, you get like a point. Whether you have a drunken parent, abusive parent, you've ever worried about being hungry, you know, sexually assaulted, all kinds of things. Long story short, I'm past the ACEs score. If you go by age, I was off the ACEs score chart by the time I was 5. Like, for real, for real. So, you talking to a 27-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, I'm grown as hell, and you about to try to tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Like, these people are abusive. She didn't want to hear none of that. So then she turned, she told me I wasn't getting a PFA on my dad. She asked my dad why he wanted one. He basically admitted that it was because I put one on her, or put one on him. She didn't put one on me. She told him he can't use the system. This was the killer. So now it's this bitch's turn to talk. Yeah, just call my grandmother a bitch, because at this point she's a bitch. There's more to this story, for the record, after that. So she turns around and she's like, the judge is asking her, like, well, are you scared of her, whatever, like literally pushing her into saying she was scared of me. And my grandma's like, no, I mean, she does leave her temper sometimes. Judge took that and ran with it, you know, etc., blah blah, or whatever. So I've never assaulted my gram. There was nothing ever like that. I've never raised my hand in my gram, nothing. So this made no sense to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. She put a 3-year PFA on me. A 3 fucking year PFA on me. When I tell you I walked out that courtroom, like, I'm about to cry. Just thinking about that was like, how dare you? You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. They're not worth the tears. So anyway, after that, you already know, shorty, you in a box. Like, you're dead to me. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. I don't care. You know what I mean? So I left there. I stayed in my car. I had to stay at a friend's house that lived across the street for a couple days. I got my stuff, you know, whatever, blah blah. Then I left again. I went up with up towards where my husband is locked up, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay up here for a while. Like, I don't know, I was just lost, for real. So I went up there, stayed up there for a little bit. I was doing graphic design at the time, so getting like change here and there, you know, like a little $100 here, $100 here. But the problem was, like, my car was out for repo. I'm hungry. Like, that money was basically going to gas, dog food, and a bag of chips. Like, that was what I was eating. It was not fun. And then, like, people on Twitter, I'm getting my period for real next week. I always say that when I cry. I'm getting my period. No, I am. For real, it's coming. No, but like, people on Twitter, yo, I don't know. Like, it took so much out of me to ask for help. Like, because I'm always, everybody know I'm a hustler, yo. Like, I don't do, like, I do broke. Like, oh shit, I can't pay a bill. You know what I mean? Like that. But like, to just sit and be broke, hell no. But the problem was, it wasn't that like I was broke, I couldn't make money. I was broken. Like, I can't even begin to explain that pain. Like, it was the worst. Like, I know it comes off as like family drama, whatever, but that shit was the worst. That's probably one of the worst. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and that was the worst. Let me get my shit together. Hold on, because I'm not about to fuck up my makeup over these stupid ass people. Okay. No, but yeah, people on Twitter helped me out a lot. Like, I made a post. I'm like, yo, I'm really like in my car. Like, it was hot. Like, it was just not good. So I was up by my husband, you know, we're like, we just gonna do whatever. Like, I come visit you, you know what I mean? Like, and it felt really good to be that close to him for some reason, you know, like, even though he can't do nothing, he's locked up, just being like 10-15 minutes for the first time in like 15 years away from him kind of felt like really good. It's weird to say. Like, he could call me, we're experiencing the same weather or whatever, and I could go visit him every, like, twice a week, because they get a couple visits a month, and you know what I mean? Like, that was good. So, which is crazy because I haven't hugged Quaddy. I haven't seen my husband in a year now. But yeah, so anyway, during that, whoo, child. So I was staying up there. Keep in mind, I'm in school this whole time. Keep in mind, I'm in school, so I was trying hard, y'all. I'm like, it's okay. I got Wi-Fi in my car. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna do this. I'm like, I'll go to Sheets. I'll make this cute. Like, I tried so hard, but on the inside, bro, I was hurting. Like, hurting, because it was already leading up to it that I was starting to finally accept how I ran out of record time. But I was starting to accept like how damaging my family has been to me, and it started really with like moving back into the house after, because when I left my grandmother's house, I ran, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like I'm running. I knew I was running in a way. Like I was like 18. No, I wasn't 18 when I moved out. I was 21 when I moved out. It was 18 when I first started looking for apartments. And I'll never forget, this is back, I used to sell pussy. Like we out of town making money, all this shit, right? And it was cool when I was living in a crib and I'm giving bread. Like that's the other thing that I kind of didn't say. It was like, you gotta think back a couple years before this, I was getting money, taking care of everybody. Like literally not taking care, like I wasn't like the reason to eat, but the reason they were eating, but it was like, if you need anything, I got you. And if anybody's ever been like broke, down and out, whatever, you know, having someone that you could call and be like, yo, I need $50, I need $60, I need $100, I need my lights on. Like my mama turned her lights on, bro. Like, and for me, it was like, it wasn't even a thought. It's just like, yup, cool. Like the main people was like my brother and sister. Oh, here you go. My little brother used to give me games, headphones, whatever. Like, and it was like little things, but it was just all the time. Like here, whatever. Never even thought about it. So to be at a point then where I'm like, I'm trying to work, like you guys know how YouTube could be for somebody. Like you can blow up on YouTube and really make money. And I don't care about blowing up with like the audience perspective of it. I care on like making that longevity of income, you know what I mean, and passively, so that I don't have to think about my every dollar. Like after this, you guys, I hope, this is a lot of rambling, but I hope you understand why I think the way I do now. Because like once your family turns on you, you really like your back be up against the wall, you know what I mean? And it's like I already got issues with employers and, you know, working for people, because I don't like, my whole thing is I don't like calling managers employers. Let me make that clear. I've worked for some good companies, but it's management that's trash. And as you guys can tell, I got issues with people talking me crazy. And I think that somebody get a title behind their name and start acting stupid. So for me, I always was like, I'm gonna be someone's boss. And during the time like when all this was going on, I was really trying so hard to like to make content, to do this. Like I was taking pictures, I was doing all kinds of stuff that made me super uncomfortable. And it was like I would try to get my family involved, try to ask them to help me and do this, or just even like, oh, did y'all see the video I put up? Like nobody cared. I hope you're subscribed now and you see how I'm reading. I don't give a fuck. Comment below and I'm gonna drive back to Pennsylvania and knock your fucking teeth in. That wasn't a threat, that was a promise. But yeah, like I was like, yo, y'all see my video? Did you watch it? Like it was just so, I was so heartbroken. So there was a lot. And the thing is, I'm tough. I'm a thug, y'all. So I was like trying to hold face so bad. Like even still, only like maybe 2 people close to me outside of my husband can say I've really sat and like really just broke down about it for real. But like my husband, he probably heard the worst of it and heard the most hurt inside of me. I put an email up from him on Twitter the other day or whatever, where he basically was like saying, and mad people like that, and I love sharing that with people, like because there was a lot, it was a post, it was like, why all the bad bitches family gotta be the black sheep of the family or whatever. And I was like, it's crazy because he just wrote me this the other day when I wrote him about like just I had a full-blown panic attack one day about being able to be a mom. And I'm like, yo, like I'm gonna have kids and my mom's not gonna be there, like, you know, like just thinking about a lot of shit, and like my dad is not gonna be there and all that. Like, so the thing is, like with us, we both had kind of like traumatizing childhoods, and he's fixed his relationship with his parents, so that's why I'm able to like talk to him, you know what I mean? And I feel like, honest to God, his parents got way better excuses. Like, you know what I mean? Like they got way better excuses than my parents. So that's why I'm like, I do talk to him, because my husband is like me in the sense of like, once you hurt me, that's it. Like I ain't gonna let you hurt me again. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, how'd you do it? Like, how do you deal with it? How do you not, you know, think about it, whatever? And I think for me, with my parents not even trying makes it the hardest part. I got glitter in my eyeballs from crying. So, you know, like I was talking to him about that, whatever, and he wrote me and was like, your family basically like they're threatened by me and they're intimidated by the fact that like I see the world bigger than what it is, you know what I mean? And I see myself bigger than who I am and want to be better for myself, whatever. I'm paraphrasing. But yeah, and I'm like, you know, that's crazy because I feel like that's the truth. But you know, the thing that really annoys me, I come from a family, and maybe that is the cause of a lot of it, is because like I come from a family with a celebrity, you know what I mean? So we all grew up with it that close, you know what I mean? Like it's that close. It's the flip of a switch. We know as children how easy it is to blow up in discipline and all that. Like my uncle didn't blow up easy back in the day, but it was like we grew up with that mindset already, in a sense. At least I know I did. So I grew up already not like, oh, that's my blood, cool. So if one can do it, anybody can do it, you know? Like I know a lot of celebrities really growing up, so it was never like weird to me to be like, oh yeah, I could be famous, I could be this. Like I was a kid, you know that song, can't wait to see my name in lights, no one's gonna stop. Like that was my shit. And Raven and all that. Like, so for me, I was like, yo, like I'm gonna be a star, whatever. And when that happened with my family, I'm like, how the fuck is the world gonna like me and my parents don't? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to be somebody if my parents don't believe me? Like the last thing my mom ever said to me is I'm gonna die alone. Like that's the last thing she ever fucking said to me. That's the last, like, literally, you're gonna die alone. Who the fuck says that to their kid? Like, who says that? Oh, shit was just crazy. So, you know, I was really going through like so much shit or whatever. So then, fast forward again, we get to the point where this was supposed to be talking about how I decorated my car. No, we get to the point where I was just like, fuck this. I think I was up by Qua and, you know, we had a couple visits, whatever, and that was good. And then one day I just woke up and was like, I'm out. This poor man. Imagine you locked up, right? And, you know, you got this little routine going with your girl, and then you just call her and you're like, where you at? And she's like, Ohio. He was gonna fuck me up, yo. He said, stop playing with me. Where are you at? I said, no, I'm on the highway. I'm going. He's like, well, where are you going? I'm like, California. He's like, wait, what? I was like, I'm gonna go to California. I'm gonna live in my car and I'm gonna go to California and I'm gonna start my life and da 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 da. And I was like, I'm gonna be back. And like, I remember it was really hard. That was hard to hop on that highway. I'm lying, it was not hard. I hopped on that highway, it was out. I was already right next to 80, like where he's on, is right next to 80. 80 takes you straight to California. I think it's 81 or whatever. So I'm like, I'm out. I'm going to California. Literally, the exit to get on the highway was like 5 minutes from me. You can't do that to somebody living in their car ready to go. So I was like, out. I'm going to California, whatever. But he really is. Quadi's so supportive. Like, he was like, okay. Like, all right, sure, but you just left me, baby. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't do it. Like, and, you know, just being to the point, he knows I was this close to suicide. He knows how low it was and, you know, all that. So it's more of like, you got to do what's good for you. So he's like, okay, go ahead. Like, cool. And then where'd I go? I started driving. I had no money neither when I left. I think I only had like 100, 200 if that. I don't even think I had that much, but I had little money. Twitter was like it wasn't like, oh, I just got thousands of dollars from supporting Twitter. It wasn't like that. It was just like, when I made the post, it was overwhelming how fast $5 came. You know, because I think my post was like, I have 1,000 and something followers. If at least y'all could spare me $1, I'll have $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, if everybody puts $1, I'm $1,000. So I think that's what it was. I was like, if you could send $1, like, I'll stretch the shit out of $1. So then that's what was overwhelming, is it was like $5. I was like, $5 to me? Then it was like $10. I was like, oh. And then somebody sent me like $20. I almost passed out. I'm like, oh my god. So that's how it really was. It wasn't like a GoFundMe 7,000, something like that. No, I got like little money here and there, but I'm beyond grateful for it, because I was like, yo, like, and then the messages and stuff, like people were messaging me like, yo, like, are you okay? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, no, I'm not okay. But yeah, so then I was like, okay, I'm out. Like, I'm going to California. And then I got on the highway. What I did was, instead of driving like straight through or whatever, I was like, I'm just gonna stay in one spot for like 1 or 2 days, you know, work, make sure I'm keeping up with school and things like that, and then just enjoy the process to get there. And I was like, I'm gonna look for a job in California. The goal was to look for a job that I could take the dogs with me. So I was looking for like dog daycares and things like that. Now, mind you, this is pre-COVID, so the world was a safe place to just go wherever. Last year, what the fuck happened this year? No, but like last year it was like a safe place. You can go anywhere. So I was like, okay, I need somewhere that the girls could go and work with me. You know what I mean? Like that California heat ain't no joke. But then also he has a cousin out in California. So I hit him up and told him like I'm on my way out there, you know, just in case I need somewhere to stay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry, this glitter killing me. So yeah. So then I started driving, whatever. I stayed in different places. Where did I stay first? I don't know, like Ohio, Iowa. I think I stayed in Iowa for a little. It was hard. Iowa was hard, matter of fact, because it got really, really hot. And I was running out of money. We were running out of gas, and I was freaking out. My car needed an oil change, and it was like overheating. I was panicking, yo. And I remember sleeping in the car with my dogs the one night, and it was so hot, and I was so scared my dogs were gonna die. Like that shit right there, whoo, child, that was hard. Because I'm like, my dogs are like, and this is after days of being just in the heat all day, you know, like there was no lakes, no rivers, no nothing. So we were driving. I'm like, yo, like, what am I gonna do? Whatever. I think I went on Facebook this time, because I was like, I don't want to keep going on Twitter begging for money or whatever. So I went on Facebook, because I'm like I was beefing with my Facebook people for a minute. I ain't gonna fry. I was beefing because I was really working hard. I felt like I wasn't getting the support I needed from everybody on a personal home level. So if you guys wonder if it affects me, if you're not like interacting with me on YouTube and things like that, it does actually affect me, for the record, because I have my Facebook and friends, and that's friends and family. Like when I say my Facebook, that's literally friends and family. These are people I've grown up with. So I'm like, well, damn, y'all bitches don't want to see me shine. Like, you like all this other shit in the world. Give me my meaningless like and share. You know, I was really feeling some type of way. And I went on a whole ice out where I stopped liking other people's shit and sharing their shit. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but who is this? Hello? Hello? Who's calling? Why are y'all calling me? What can I help you with? Oh yeah, no thank you, girl. I'm already beefing with Spectrum right now. I'm not adding nothing to my service. Not like that. That's why I was like, wait, why y'all calling now? Because we just did this last week. No, okay. Yeah, no thank you though. I actually don't even watch TV, so it's okay. Thank you. No. Yeah. I'm sorry, what was that? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Hello? Oh, does she? Oh. Yeah, no, I don't watch TV. Yeah, I had it when I first moved here. I did the trial or whatever, but it just wasn't worth it for me. Like I never even logged on at all. Yeah, I don't watch nothing. Okay. Yeah, if I'm interested in it, I will. I'll definitely. Thank you. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm literally in the middle of filming a video. That's why I'm like, okay. No, I'm sorry. What you say? No, they denied me for that too. Look, I'm really not messing with Spectrum right now. Like, no, yeah, I tried to look into that too, but I'm good with what I'm at. It's just cheaper. I pay like $30. Thank you. Thanks. You too. Bye. I'm so rude. Like, why y'all calling me? Look, no, I'm beefing with Spectrum. They cut my internet off last week. It was not pretty. They didn't want to give me no extension. I had to go outside to go pay my bill. I was having a panic attack. It was not fun. Not fun. So yeah, before this sun go down, because the sun about to go down and it's gonna be dark at 4 o'clock up here in Rochester. Yeah, what was I talking about? Where was I at? I was in Iowa. Yeah, so that's what I was saying about Facebook. So I went on Facebook and I'm like, you know how like Facebook friends and family, Facebook will talk shit. Facebook the ones that'll sit at home and be talking about you. So it was a lot. I'm like, damn, I don't want to say shit on Facebook. But I was like, they already know I'm in my car. You know what I mean? Like from Instagram or whatever and YouTube at that point. So I was like, fuck it. So I posted, I'm like, look, y'all know I'm in my car, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If anybody can help me out, like the dogs are hot. It was like 100 and something degrees. I'm like, my dogs are hot, you know, whatever. Now, mind you, these is people that be calling my phone. What's Moo doing? How Moo? You know, whatever. Like, well, Moo's hot. Moo is stressed out right now. Nobody cares about me. I don't know why everybody don't like Munam. I think that it's just hard for people to adjust to Munam after it's just being me and Moo for a long time, and then I have Mufasa. So I don't know, but nobody checks on Munam. It's okay, she's my baby. But Moo is like a pride and joy to all my friends and family. So I was like, look, I use my dogs. I said the girls are hot, like we need gas, you know, I need an oil change, whatever. So I didn't even have Wi-Fi on in the car. I think I was sitting outside of a gas station on Wi-Fi, and I was like, a matter of fact, I was on my way to a hospital. I was gonna go to the hospital because I felt like I was having a heat stroke. Like I was getting real, you know, just exhausted. Like my head was pounding. It was just a really, really bad day that day. And I'm calling the hospital. I'm like, I need to come in and get checked out, but I live in my car. I got my dogs with me. They're like, you can't bring your dogs with you. And I'm like, well, they emotional support. Like, I don't know. I'm like, it's hot. I can't leave them outside. So then I genuinely had to forfeit, like, even going and getting checked out. To be for real, I was in the Wi-Fi at a McDonald's cursing the hospital the fuck out. Whatever. So then, like, I remember when I posted on my Insta or my Facebook or something, I logged off. I don't know, like a little while later, I got back on or whatever because I drove a little bit. I started the maps on the Wi-Fi at one gas station. I drove maybe 20-30 miles. I was like, I gotta go to the hospital. So I was like, let me find, you know, pull off this exit. I see the McDonald's. I'm like, I'm gonna pull off here. I'm gonna look for the nearest hospital and all that. When I went back on and I seen all my friends and family at home, they sent me like, it was like over $200 and something that fast. I cried, yo. Cried so fucking hard. And it wasn't just like, oh my god, like y'all gave me money. It was like, y'all just saved my life. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, I'm honestly somebody like, and I'm not even trying to be dramatic when I say this, I'm honestly somebody nobody ever comes to bat for. Like, and I'm just being completely fucking honest. I have never had somebody come to bat for me, like, for shit. I can't even think of anything in my life for real. Like back when I was a kid, if I was getting arrested or something, I got myself out of that shit. My parents wasn't worth a damn when it came to going to court. Like I remember I beat my case with my aunt on my own. On my own. It was me sitting in that courtroom and I'm like, hold up, because you know, Northampton County quick to throw you in Northampton County, whether you a juvenile or an adult. So I'm like, yo, pause. Like, I'm a straight A student, you know what I mean? Like, et cetera. Like, I had me a little public defender at the time. I'm like, and that's an assault with a weapons charge, you know what I mean? Like, oh no. So I had to get that taken care of. Then another time I had to go to court as a kid. I had to get that. I know that my shit myself. That's what makes me want to be a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like, I always had to argue for myself. Always had to fight for myself. When it came to school, principals, you know, suspensions, anything. I've always fought for myself. So, and then with this whole thing, like, obviously my family just left me out here for dead. You know, like, there's nobody fighting for me. So when they did that, I just was crying. I was crying so hard because it's like people, you know, from like high school that you know, and like people I've been friends with since like elementary school and shit. So that kind of, it really like, it took a toll on me emotionally, but it was good because it was needed for real. It was like that was the confirmation of like, okay, maybe y'all don't give me my likes, you know what I mean? Like, but you want to see me dead, like, you know. And the other thing was also like being with Quadi is really it's hard, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard on my friends and family, and I know it is, to support us. Like, so for anybody watching this who thinks that maybe like I don't care, you know, about him committing his crime or anything, or like I throw our relationship in anyone's face, that's not it at all. Like, and I've said this in other videos, and that's what this one's about. When it comes to my husband, I don't fight. I'm not fighting for him just like because he's my man. I'm fighting for the 14-year-old that nobody fought for. Like I just said, I ain't never had nobody come to bat for me. And Quadi for real fought his case, his health this whole time. Like, yeah, his lawyer gets a lot of credit. My husband does that shit. My husband been fighting for his case, you know? So that's why I fight so hard for him. Because it's like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so with friends and family at home, that's what really, I was like, damn, like, because it was awkward, you know, like I haven't even talked to a lot of people. A lot of people stopped talking to me when we got together, and like, and it wasn't like, yo, I'm not talking to her, just quiet. It was like, how dare you, you know, like, it was not, my inbox was not pretty. So yeah, like one of my best friends, like I know why she kind of fell back, but like we were super close at this time a little bit before, and she just fell back. So it was just like I felt so alone. And that was why, if you're wondering, like, well, why you ain't just go to a friend's house, it wasn't even a fucking thought, you know what I mean? Like I genuinely felt like I had nobody, like, at all. So that was like big. I'm like, okay, like you guys are gonna get me at least there, and that I could do the rest. Like I just needed just that weight taken off, you know what I mean? Like for a day or two, it felt so relieving. For real. But I was able to like get an oil change, and I'm trying to change it myself. That turned out terrible. So then I got an oil change, got my change done, and then after that, I think, where was that? Where did I get my oil done? Was that Iowa? That might have still been Iowa. Yeah, because I think from Iowa, I drove straight out, like, after that, and I ended up in Colorado. But yeah, because the ride was like a day. I think I just spent a day, and I was like, I'm just going straight. Like, at least I'll get to Colorado. I had a cousin in Denver, so I was like, I'm gonna go to Colorado, and then if I have to stay somewhere, somebody's there. But I didn't want to be like a burden on anyone, especially like I'm coming with my dogs and stuff, and I'm depressed, you know what I mean? Like, nobody wants somebody depressed just coming up in their house. I'm like, I'm the type, I'd rather suffer in silence alone, because I've tried suffering and talking, and it doesn't always work. So yeah, so then when I got to Colorado, period, like I remember the second I crossed that border, it was crazy. I was like, I'm never leaving again. I'm obviously not in Colorado, but I was like, yo, this is where I want to be. I just remember it was like sun was setting and all that. And like the thing about sunsets, yeah, they're pretty, but like I feel like the sunset reminds me of God, you know what I mean? Like a lot. And like I can't even front, my faith right then was so low. It wasn't like I was like, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't care about me or anything. It was just like Like, I was hurting so bad that I couldn't even turn to God with the hurt. You know what I mean? Like it was like, it wasn't even crossing my mind to turn to God with the hurt. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I was just in pain inside, but I kept a straight face, and you know, like, I care about my dog's feelings. So like, I don't want them seeing me all miserable. They both sitting there like, why are you crying? No, they're not. They're taking a nap. They don't give a fuck. I thought they were staring at me. They're not. They don't care. Nobody cares. No. Oh, the glitter in my eyes was making this worse. Whew. Anyway, so yeah, what happened after that? I got to Colorado. And then I was just like, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna look for a job. Blah blah blah. Weed was legal. Like, this is lit. I remember my first night in Colorado. I was scared. Those crackheads are wonderful. I'm like downtown. You know, mind you, I've never been here before. I've never been even in a city as big as like Denver, in the sense of being alone and by myself. Like, I've been to New York, but that's always like with friends and family. I'm going with somebody. I've been to Philly. That's always I'm going, like, there's a destination. Being somewhere where there was no destination, child, listen. I was hard. I was scared. I slept in my car, I think, behind a hotel that night. Where did I sleep? No, I don't even think I stayed at the hotel. I don't think I even stayed behind there. I think I was behind the hotel for a little bit. Yeah, and then I even left from there. And I was looking for Walmarts. Apparently there was like no 24-hour Walmart that you can camp out of. I didn't realize how big the homeless population was in Colorado till I got to Colorado. Y'all need to work on that. And this is why we stopped at Colorado and didn't go to California, for the record. I was like, oh, it's only gonna get worse from here. Nah, bro. No, but I was good at Colorado. And I was like, you know what? I don't even want to go to California anymore, whatever. So I was in Colorado for a little while, which was good. I needed it. I needed that touch with nature. I needed the mountains. I needed, like, I think being in Colorado, being at like Red Rock and stuff, if you've ever been a Red Rock amphitheater, like being over there and being near the rocks all day, like something about the rocks was so, it sounds crazy, like grounding. You know what I mean? It was just so grounding to be around stuff. That's how I got back to, like, the reminder clicked on, like, you realize you don't control this, right? You know what I mean? Like, and my parents don't control this, and my family don't control this. Nobody controls how my life is going to turn out but God, you know? So during that or whatever, I was there. I'm like, I'm just here, whatever. And, you know, like, the rocks was grounding, though. It was like, that's what I was saying. I was trying to loop back to, like, what the fuck was I just saying? No, being around something that big, that's like this, nobody made this. You know what I mean? Like, nobody could put their hands and make this. This is something just here. This is God. You know what I mean? Like, the sunsets, the clouds, the way, if you've ever been in Colorado, you know, like, the sky, I've never felt the sky feel so close to me that I could touch it, literally, you know, like, and just dealing with all that shit at home, it was so necessary. And it was like, nobody could find me, nobody can hurt me, you know, whatever. So I was out in Colorado for a minute, and then after that, came back. The trip back was kind of like a 2-day thing. I think I was like Nebraska. No, I stayed in Nebraska for a little bit. Oh shit, I forgot why I left Colorado. My camera gonna die. That's gonna be another video. Sorry, I don't have it in me right now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe later tonight, I don't know. I don't have it in me, but that's part 2. So subscribe, hit the notification bell. I promise I will do a part 3 and finish on how I left Colorado, why I left Colorado, and the trip back, and then just a quick little bloop 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 to how I ended up here in Rochester, because that's another video I wanted to do. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, sorry that I was bawling my eyes out. I do that often. If you're uncomfortable with crying, seek therapy. I'm joking. No, I cry a lot. I'm a crybaby. I don't care. I'm a thug, but I cry. But fuck, I cry. When my body says cry, cry, because it's a release. That felt good. feels good to finally like just say it. Like I know I'm missing a lot. I'm not missing a lot, but there's a lot that it's like I wanna dive into, but they're just individual just things. So I feel like until I get this out, because nobody knows how I ended up in my car into detail, and I feel like until you know that, it could come off like I feel like until you know that, ran out of record time, until you know that, it just feels like you know, like I feel like I could be seen as like, oh yeah, she was just living in her car, being all cute, being bougie, blah blah blah. Like, no baby, I was living in my car with my heart fucking broke, and it wasn't because of a man, it wasn't because of work, it wasn't because of school, it wasn't because of nothing that's ever hurt me before in my life. Like it was a lot deeper. So yeah, this channel I really do want to start talking about like family traumas, things like that. Like I just told y'all a lot about my life in these 2 videos, so please take the time to comment down like anything that you know maybe you want advice on or you're dealing with or whatever. Even email me if you want it to be private, I don't care. You know, like that's the whole purpose of this channel. I know I have younger viewers that like you guys might be going through parent things, and even older people that are dealing with it and like feel not normal to like still be hurt and upset when you're an adult and your parents are hurting you. You know, like hell no, that shit's completely normal. Parents suck, bro. Like parents suck. Damn. I used to think because my parents weren't on my ass about shit, they were cool, until I realized it's because they didn't love me enough to care. Like it's crazy, but yeah, I used to be like, oh, I could sleep over at anybody's house. Like my parents didn't give a fuck that, you know, they didn't care. So it is what it is, man. Parents suck. But today is a better day. We're talking about something that happened a year ago. Today is a better day. So moving on. Yeah, I'll see you guys in part 3. And I'll talk about where we are now and how I left Colorado and all that. And then we'll just move on with life after that. So if you like this, you know the deal. Follow me on Instagram. I don't know, I don't really have nothing else much to say. My eyes are literally burning. There is glitter, literally. Like, do you see that? There was glitter on my eye, if you remember. Like, you see that? It's actual glitter. It's my new style to make it seem like I did my makeup, but I didn't. So the dog trying the shit out of her. She's like all right, I'm hungry. I'll see you guys later. And I gotta take this off.